Easy English Conversations.
Simple English. Real conversations.
Hey English learners! Welcome back to the Easy English Conversations channel, your cozy place to learn easy English through real conversations. I'm Alex.
And I'm Emma. Glad you're here.
I was thinking this morning really early. Like before the sun decided to show up, I was standing in the kitchen with a mug that claimed to be coffee, but honestly felt more like warm disappointment. And I had this moment where my brain was already running through the day. Full sentences, clear thoughts, but my mouth? Completely offline.
That gap. I know that gap so well. It's like your thoughts are dressed and ready to go, shoes on, keys in hand, and your mouth is still sitting on the couch scrolling.
Exactly. And it's funny because we usually blame tiredness or nerves or I'm just not a morning person. But that disconnect shows up in way bigger moments too.
Yeah. Meetings, introductions, phone calls. That split second where you know exactly what you want to say, but when it's time to speak, something just stalls.
And what's wild is how fast we turn that into a story about ourselves.
I'm bad at speaking. I freeze. I sound stupid. We go there immediately.
Even when the thoughts themselves are solid.
Especially then. Because it's frustrating. You can feel that you're not lacking ideas, you're lacking delivery.
That frustration is actually where I want to start today. Not by naming the problem outright, but by sitting in that feeling. That moment where you're clear internally, but externally, nothing flows.
Or it comes out chopped up. Slower than you're thinking. Less confident than it felt inside.
Yeah. And people listening might already know where we're headed. Because if you've ever learned a second language or even tried to sound more confident in your first, you've felt this.
I remember being able to understand everything in a conversation. Like fully. Jokes, tone, nuance. And then someone would look at me and wait for my response, and suddenly my mouth felt heavy.
Heavy is the word.
Like it needed warming up, but no one told it.
So, let's talk about that heaviness. Because for a long time, I think we've been taught to treat speaking as a thinking problem.
Right. Vocabulary, grammar, sentence structure.
All important, but incomplete.
Completely incomplete. Because speaking isn't just thinking out loud. It's a physical act.
This is where some people push back. They're like, no, it's confidence. Or it's mindset.
Or, I just need more words.
Exactly. But let me ask you this. Have you ever tried to play the piano just by reading sheet music?
Oh yeah. You can understand the notes perfectly and still sound terrible.
Because your fingers don't know yet.
They haven't built the memory.
And that's the part we skip when it comes to speaking. We train the brain and ignore the mouth.
Which is wild, because the mouth is doing the actual work. Jaw, tongue, lips, those are muscles.
Muscles that don't automatically get trained just because you understand something.
And if they're not trained, they hesitate. They move slowly. They default to what's comfortable.
This is where that lazy mouth idea comes in. Not lazy as in unmotivated, but untrained.
Exactly. It's not judging you. It's just describing the situation honestly.
Your brain might be fluent. Your mouth might not be.
And when those two aren't synced, you feel that gap. The brain versus mouth gap?
Which creates anxiety.
Yes, because now there's pressure. You're aware of the delay.
And fear slides in.
Fear of sounding wrong. Fear of being slow. Fear of being judged.
Or even fear of your accent showing.
That's a big one. People try to hide it, which actually makes the mouth more tense.
Tension is the enemy of flow.
Totally. A tense jaw doesn't move smoothly. A tight tongue doesn't dance through sounds.
So now we have this cycle. Untrained muscles create hesitation, hesitation creates fear, fear creates more tension.
And then people think, I need to study more.
When what they actually need is to practice speaking differently.
Physically differently.
This is where I want to slow down for a second, because this idea can feel uncomfortable.
Especially if they've been working so hard mentally.
People don't love being told, this isn't in your head.
But it did count. It just trained one part of the system.
Right. It can feel invalidating. Like, so all that studying didn't count?
I like to think of it like sports. You can know all the rules of tennis and still miss the ball.
And speaking is a full body skill, or at least a full mouth skill.
They're embodied.
Because timing and coordination aren't intellectual.
I hear a mismatch in training.
So, when someone says, I understand English, but I can't speak it, I don't hear a failure.
And the good news is, muscles are trainable. They respond quickly when trained correctly.
Exactly. Mental skill versus muscular skill.
Or personality.
Which is hopeful. Because this isn't about talent.
It's about repetition and awareness.
Or being bad at languages.
Most people never do that. They just hope speaking will magically improve with time.
And intention. Training the mouth on purpose.
Or it plateaus. People get stuck at understands everything, says little.
And sometimes it does, but painfully slowly.
I get that. Shyness is real.
Let's talk about fear for a moment. Because some listeners might be thinking, no, my issue is shyness.
Yes. It's learned. It's protective.
But I'd argue that shyness often shows up after repeated speaking discomfort.
So it pulls the emergency brake. Your mouth freezes.
Your brain is like, last time this was awkward. Let's avoid that.
When actually, you're cautious. Your system is trying to help you.
Which reinforces the belief, see, I'm shy.
But that protection comes at the cost of expression.
By reducing risk.
Confidence doesn't come from silence. It comes from successful action.
And confidence.
Exactly. Which brings us to something practical, because we can't just sit here diagnosing the problem.
Small, repeatable success.
So let's talk about the idea of a daily speaking workout.
Right. Awareness without action doesn't change much.
Or complicated.
And before anyone panics, no, this isn't an hour.
It's short, 5 minutes.
Or dramatic.
5 minutes is short enough that you won't negotiate with yourself.
Which is important, because consistency matters more than intensity here.
The first thing people underestimate is warming up the mouth.
And long enough to actually wake the muscles up.
Which is strange, because speaking uses fine motor control.
We warm up before running, but we don't warm up before speaking.
Simple movements can change everything. Rolling the lips, stretching the tongue, loosening the jaw.
Lips, jaw, tongue all need mobility.
Suddenly, words come out easier, faster, smoother.
It sounds silly until you try speaking right after.
And you signaled to your body, hey, we're about to speak.
Because you removed resistance.
A lot. Because part of fear is the unknown. Warm-up creates familiarity.
That alone can reduce anxiety.
Mostly hate at first.
Then there's the mirror technique, which people either love or hate.
But it's powerful. Eye contact with yourself builds presence.
Because seeing yourself speak is confronting.
Saying full sentences, clearly, slowly at first.
And affirmations spoken out loud aren't about positive thinking, they're about mouth movement.
You start to notice patterns. Tension. Avoidance.
Watching how your mouth forms sounds.
Speed is another thing people rush.
And then you can adjust.
But slow is where control lives.
They want to sound fluent immediately.
And once the muscles know the path, speed comes naturally.
Slow builds accuracy and confidence.
Real training, not just exposure.
That transition from slow to fast is training.
Listening, copying, syncing the ear and mouth.
And this is just the beginning. There are layers to this practice.
But before we go there, I want to pause.
Building flow, not just correctness.
Because I want to ask the listeners something, and maybe you too, Alex.
Me too.
When you think about speaking, do you treat it more like thinking or more like movement?
Okay.
Yeah. Let that question breathe for a moment.
That's a good place to sit.
It does. And most people, if they're honest, realize they've been treating speaking almost entirely as a thinking task.
That question kind of lingers, doesn't it? Thinking versus movement.
Or if I rehearse it in my head one more time.
Like, if I just think harder, it'll come out better.
So much worse. Because now you're overloading the brain while the mouth is still undertrained.
Which sometimes makes it worse.
Exactly. Thoughts pile up faster than the mouth can release them, and that creates pressure.
And then when it's time to speak, everything bottlenecks.
I love shadow speaking. It changed everything for me.
This is where I think shadow speaking becomes really interesting.
Not repeating after. That's important.
For anyone new to the idea, shadow speaking is basically listening to a native speaker and speaking along with them, almost at the same time.
And that small delay is magic, because your brain doesn't have time to analyze.
Yeah, not waiting. You're slightly behind, like a shadow.
Exactly. Your ear leads, your mouth follows, the brain steps out of the way.
It has to trust the body.
Oh, totally. You feel out of control.
Which is terrifying at first.
But that sloppiness is productive. It's movement-based learning.
You stumble, you miss sounds, you feel sloppy.
Rhythm is huge. English isn't spoken word by word, it's spoken in waves.
And it trains rhythm, not just words.
Music, basically.
Stress, reduction, linking.
This is such an underrated concept. People think in individual words, but native speakers don't speak that way.
Which brings us to sound clusters.
Gonna hafta. Kind of, you know what I mean.
We speak in chunks.
And your mouth gets exhausted. It's too much precision in the wrong places.
If you try to pronounce each word perfectly, you sound robotic and slow.
They reduce decision-making. You're not choosing every sound, you're releasing a pattern.
Sound clusters let the mouth flow.
Yes, it's physical. Your mouth remembers it like a dance move.
And that pattern has a feel to it.
Listening back shows you where you're breaking flow.
This is where recording yourself can be uncomfortable but powerful.
Which often sounds less natural than small mistakes.
Or where you're being overly careful.
Emotion is.
That's such an important point. Accuracy isn't the top priority early on.
But emotion drives communication. People forgive errors when the message feels alive.
That might sound counterintuitive.
Exactly. Flat, perfect sentences don't connect.
When there's energy behind it.
Which is why adopting an actor mindset helps so much.
Slightly messy, emotionally present speech does.
Actors don't aim for perfect pronunciation. They aim for intention.
Say more about that.
And the body organizes around that goal.
What do I want? What do I feel?
Yes. Instead of, how do I say this correctly? It becomes, how do I express this?
That takes pressure off the mouth.
And outward focus reduces self-consciousness.
Which shifts focus outward.
Absolutely. Speaking while moving, walking, gesturing loosens the system,
This connects to body movement too.
especially if they already feel judged.
Stillness can increase tension for some people.
It tells the nervous system, we're safe, we're active.
So, adding movement isn't a distraction, it's regulation.
Which brings us to fluency loops.
That safety is key for fluency.
One sentence, repeated.
I love this concept because it's simple and brutal in a good way.
Slow first, almost exaggerated.
At different speeds,
Then slightly faster than comfortable.
then normal.
And muscle memory,
This trains adaptability
you're deepening one pathway,
because you're not inventing new language each time.
but it's efficient. Mastery is boring from the outside.
That repetition might sound boring
When you feel a sentence roll out without effort, that's addictive.
and satisfying from the inside.
Confidence born from capability.
It builds confidence that's grounded, not forced.
Not just repeating words, but repeating conditions.
This is where repetition for mastery comes in.
Emotional repetition.
Slow clarity. Flow repetition.
That one's interesting. Pressure repetition.
Pressure repetition.
Exactly. Slight stakes. A timer. Recording. Imagining an audience.
Practicing when there's a bit of stress.
Because real life isn't silent and forgiving.
Not overwhelming, just enough to simulate reality.
And that's how fear loses its grip,
But you can train for it gradually.
which leads to real-world use.
Exposure with control.
Short interactions. Low-risk conversations.
Using these skills outside practice.
Not waiting until you're ready.
Ordering coffee. Small talk. Comments.
And this only works with consistency.
Ready is built through action.
5 minutes sounds small, but it compounds.
Daily, not heroic.
The brain relaxes.
Over 30 days, the mouth changes.
Not special. Not scary.
And speaking starts to feel normal.
Like walking or typing.
Just another movement.
To remove drama from speaking.
That's the goal, really.
Which is why active learning beats passive learning here.
And replace it with familiarity.
You have to move.
Watching videos alone won't train muscles.
That decision matters more than talent.
Decide to train.
And gentle.
Because once you commit, the path is clear.
Very doable.
Not easy, but doable.
Me too.
I want to pause again here.
And it all points to one shift.
Because we've covered a lot of ground from muscles to emotion to repetition.
From thinking about speaking to actually training it.
Moving from observer to participant.
Okay,
So, here's a question I want to leave hanging for a moment.
that's a powerful place to sit.
If speaking is a physical skill, like playing an instrument, what would change if you treated your mouth like something you're training, not judging?
That question shifts the whole relationship, doesn't it? Training instead of judging.
Let's stay there for a beat.
And training invites curiosity. You're not asking, what's wrong with me? You're asking, what needs practice?
It really does. Because judgment freezes movement.
Kinder and more effective. Judgment drains energy. Training channels it.
Which is such a kinder question.
Yeah. Those labels sound descriptive, but they're actually verdicts.
I've noticed that when people stop labeling themselves, I'm bad at speaking, I'm shy, I have a lazy tongue, something softens.
Training language is open, temporary, changeable.
Final, closed.
Exactly. You wouldn't expect to go to the gym once a month and get strong.
And once you see speaking as a skill, consistency suddenly makes sense.
Or they practice in the hardest conditions only. Big meetings, presentations,
But people expect that with speaking all the time.
and then wondering why your body resists.
That's like trying to lift your max weight every time.
Safe space. No audience. No performance.
This is why private practice matters so much.
And honesty. You can exaggerate, be messy, try things.
Just exploration.
That trust is underrated. If you don't trust your mouth, you'll always hesitate.
Which builds trust with your own voice.
Exactly. Gentle repetition. Daily repetition.
And trust is built through repetition that doesn't punish you.
But that's why it works. You don't resist it.
5 minutes sounds almost laughably small.
Just a decision.
You don't need motivation.
Decisions stick.
That's an important distinction. Motivation comes and goes.
No drama.
I train my mouth every day. That's it.
Speaking stops feeling like a test,
And, over time, something interesting happens.
which is what language is supposed to be.
Yes. It starts feeling like expression.
Please. This is one of my favorite parts.
I want to talk about emotion again, because it ties everything together.
But it's the opposite.
People often think emotion will come after fluency.
When you care about what you're saying, your body organizes itself better.
Emotion creates fluency.
Mouth moves with purpose.
Breath deepens. Voice steadies.
Because intention is audible.
Even mistakes sound intentional.
Exactly. Accuracy improves faster when emotion leads.
This is why emotion over accuracy isn't reckless, it's strategic.
They lean in instead of judging.
And listeners respond differently,
A positive feedback loop,
which reinforces confidence.
where every word is correct but nothing lands.
Compare that to flat, over-controlled speech.
Because the speaker feels invisible.
That often reinforces insecurity.
But it's not the engine.
So yes, grammar matters.
The engine is muscle memory plus emotional intent.
It's the polish,
When you speak in clusters, you stop micromanaging.
which brings us back to sound clusters and flow.
And music carries emotion naturally.
You allow reduction, linking, music.
They connect to melodies.
People don't connect to isolated notes.
And once your mouth knows a melody, it doesn't forget.
That's such a good metaphor.
Which is why repetition for mastery matters so much.
That's muscle memory again.
Slow clarity first,
Not repeating, randomly repeating with awareness.
then emotion,
Then flow,
layer by layer,
then pressure.
and it builds real-world readiness.
This layered approach prevents overwhelm
But they don't require perfection,
because real conversations have emotion and pressure.
and presence is trained, not imagined.
They require presence.
I've seen people wait years to feel ready.
That's such an important line.
Because readiness isn't a feeling, it's a habit.
And that day never comes.
Even when it's awkward.
Built through showing up daily,
Awkwardness is data.
especially when it's awkward.
It tells you where to train next.
Not a verdict.
Losing rhythm? Shadow speak.
Jaw tight, warm up more.
Freezing under pressure? Practice with light pressure,
Flat delivery, add emotion.
which feels empowering.
This turns frustration into feedback.
Yes, this is the bridge.
I want to talk briefly about real-world use again, because this is where people either grow or stall.
And application without practice feels brutal.
Practice without application stays theoretical.
Low-stakes conversations.
The sweet spot is small, frequent real-world use.
just to move your mouth in real contexts.
Not to prove yourself.
Asking simple questions.
Ordering food. Commenting on the weather.
They say, speaking is normal, I survive.
These moments retrain the nervous system.
That's such a good point.
Survival builds confidence faster than success.
Fear dissolves when the body knows it's safe.
Because once survival is guaranteed, performance improves.
Always repetition.
And safety comes from repetition.
I love that pairing.
Which brings us to consistency and success.
30 days of daily practice can change how your mouth feels.
Because success isn't talent, it's consistency over time.
People underestimate how fast the body adapts.
Truly. It's physical.
But consistency requires a decision.
Especially with focused, intentional training.
Not I'll try.
Not a wish.
That identity shift matters.
I do.
Even 5 minutes a day counts.
I'm someone who trains my speaking.
Because it builds a relationship.
It counts more than sporadic hour-long sessions.
With your body.
With your voice.
And over time, something quiet but profound happens.
With expression.
It becomes a bridge.
Speaking stops being a barrier.
And that's when confidence feels real.
To people, to ideas, to opportunities.
Calm. Grounded.
Not loud. Not performative.
You just are.
You're not trying to sound confident.
Brain and mouth working together.
Because your system knows what to do.
Or at least a much smaller one.
No more gap.
But they don't have to define you.
Gaps are human.
Me too.
I want to slow us down as we come toward the end here.
It's about respect.
Because this isn't about hacks or tricks.
Respecting your body's need for training.
Respecting speaking as a physical skill.
No shortcuts, but also no cruelty.
And respecting the process.
I want them to hear this clearly.
If someone listening feels stuck right now,
you're not broken.
There is nothing wrong with you.
And that is solvable.
You're untrained in a specific way.
And patience?
With small, daily action.
Especially that.
And kindness toward yourself.
You move your mouth for 5 minutes.
So maybe tonight or tomorrow morning.
Say a sentence slowly.
Warm it up.
Feel the rhythm.
Shadow a voice you like.
Just to train.
Not to impress anyone.
It's something you build readiness through.
Because speaking isn't something you wait to feel ready for.
It does. Quiet. Grounded.
That feels like a good place to land.
Yeah. Thanks for listening and for giving yourself permission to practice.
Thanks for sitting with us today.
Take care.
We'll see you next time.